Hello, for the third Sunday after Easter. Title this one Trivia Sunday. I'm going to present half a dozen trivia questions about the Gospel, John 21, verses 1 to 19. And the first one starts out like this. Did you know that in the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, there are two accounts of a miraculous catch of fish? Two. And one's in Luke and the other's in John. Today's gospel is John. Well, Jesus said, go fish, throw your nets over to the side, go fish. Well, in Luke 5, 1 to 11, this is a miraculous catch early in Jesus' ministry. He goes fishing, or he uses Peter's boat to preach to the people on the seashore, the lake shore. And then after that, Peter's with James and John too. But as far as after he preaches to the crowd, he tells Peter, James and John, to go out and throw your nets overboard. They fished all night and caught nothing. And when they did this, they had a miraculous catch of fish. This is the early time of Jesus' ministry. And after the miraculous catch, I guess the key that Jesus was trying to prove was when he talked to Peter and they caught all these fish. And he said to these three people, from now on, you're going to catch men and women and children. From now on, you're not going to be catching fish, but men, women, and children. That's the first account of a miraculous catch. The second account is today's gospel, John 21, 1 to 19. And in that, it's not just Peter, James, and John, but it's Peter, James, and John, and Thomas, and Nathaniel, and James, and two other unnamed disciples. And he asks them, he's on the shore now of the sea. He's on the shore. And he said, have you caught anything? I know you haven't caught anything all night. Well, then Jesus said, well, throw your nets over the right side of the boat and you'll catch something. And boom, they did, and they caught an unbelievable number of fish. And that unbelievable number, we'll talk about that in a minute. This is not from now on, but this has something else in mind with Peter especially. Okay? The third one. Did you know that in Luke's gospel, they caught so many fish, but the nets never tore? But in John's gospel, in this catch of fish, the nets tore, and they had to ask another boat to help them to bring them in. Did you know that? Trivia. Do you care? Okay. Another one. Did you know why in this large catch of fish, what that's all about? Because it says, and John says it in the gospel, there were 153 large fish. What does that mean? Well, I did a little research. I don't know if we know the answer to this, but here I got 5 reasons, or four reasons. One, 150 meant to have a symbolic meaning in relation to the apostles' universal mission to go catch all these people. Okay. I like the second one better. St. Jerome, the great translator of the Bible. Jerome claims that the Greek zoologists catalog 153 different species of fish. And Jesus wants them to catch all these fish, these 153, all people, all time. That sounds pretty good to me. Well, another or others cite Ezekiel 47:10. He quotes the rivers of the water flowing into the Dead Sea. He said, "There shall be abundant fish, for wherever this water comes, the sea shall be made fresh. Its kind of fish shall be like those of the great sea, very numerous." Hmm. And then here's one I just think is really sort of outlandish. Why 153 large fish? 153 is the sum of the numbers of 1, 2, 3, up to 17. So you add up 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up 17, and you wind up with 153. That's one scripture scholar's explanation of 153. Well, I think the answer is I don't know, or we don't know. Okay. They did this in today's gospel on the Lake of Tiberias. Oh, where's that lake? The Lake of Tiberias is in the northern top of the Sea of Galilee. It's part of the Sea of Galilee, Tiberias. In another, in the lake, in Luke, it was on Lake Gennesaret. Luke says that's the northwestern corner of the Sea of Galilee. And these two lakes, and then the Sea of Galilee, there's three bodies of water here. No, 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 no. It's one body of water, the Sea of Galilee. Did you know that? That Sea of Galilee goes down into the Jordan River. Jordan River goes down to the Dead Sea. That Sea of Galilee is really a lake. It's the world's lowest lying lake on planet Earth. Freshwater, lowest lying lake. There's another one lower, which is not freshwater. That lake, you go top north to south, it's about 21 miles. If you go across the lake, it's about 13 miles. And these apostles and Jesus, they continue to go around the sea or across the sea. It's not very big, and they did this mostly by foot or by an animal. And that's all the scripture. It's much smaller than a lot of people can imagine. Did you know that? The Sea of Galilee is Lake Gennesaret, Lake Tiberias, and the Sea of Galilee. And they're really all a lake. Did you know that? Well, finally, in today's gospel, all of that miraculous catch is chapter 21 up to verse 14 included. Well, then Jesus does something else. He singles out Peter. This one's after the resurrection, fresh in his mind, this Peter denied me 3 times. And so he redoes it with Peter, our first pope. Peter, do you love me? Yes, feed my lambs. Peter, do you really love me? Yes, I do. Feed my sheep. Peter, do you love? You know I love you. Feed my sheep. Our first pope denied Christ in the garden or after the garden, the courtyard. And now he's saying, I love you. And he certainly did. And he became our first pope. One of the greatest in the history of the church. It's been many, many good men followed in his shoes. Many, many good popes. A few bad ones, but many, many, many good popes. Do you love me? All of this, Jesus after the resurrection. There's a lot of trivia connected with the scriptures. Did you know some of those trivia questions? Have a good day.